Tommy, off the back of 2 wins in a week and going into the FA Trophy this weekend, how's the mood in the camp?
Well, the mood in the camp has been really good for quite some time now. I mean, I know we took a couple of reverses before the 2 wins, but prior to that we hadn't lost in 10 games or so. So I think the mood in the camp generally has been really good. There's no too high when we win a game, there's no too low when we've lost a game. And if we've drawn a game, we're still on the same median. So, I think it's really important as a staff to keep the level-headedness. We don't want to get too excited. There's no different, aim at the end of every week. We're trying to win a football match, and it's no different this week.
Well, yeah, that's something you said, when things haven't gone our way, you've said, we're not going to dwell on it. So is that the same for these wins now? Now we've come off the back of 2 wins in a row, so it is the same.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the noise is always from our side of the fence is to keep going. We haven't done anything other than win a football match. The weekend before, 2 weekends before, we didn't do anything other than lose a football match. That doesn't define your whole season. We still got a third of the National League campaign to go, plus at least another couple of 3 cup games and different cup competitions. So as far as I'm concerned, there's loads to play for. And if you have a disappointment, you've got to get over it as quickly as we can. That's us, that's the players, that's the people who support us. Yeah, you can be disappointed, but to show an emotion way beyond, we've lost a game, or get in, we've won a game, then you've got to move on. If you don't, we're going to leave you behind.
We've had our 2 training sessions in preparation for the game on Saturday, and how are they going? You think the lads are ready?
Well, they're ready physically in terms of what we've given them content-wise. We've managed to get our eyes on the opposition as we always try to do, and give 1 or 2 pointers where we feel we can benefit us. But obviously they've got strengths themselves that they've shown in what are we in the 6th round of this competition, and they've played about 4 or 5 games, all against teams from levels above them. So they're not going to be frightened of us, and rightly so. They're in the same level of the competition as we are, and it's up to us to try and get over them. Like I said, it's the next game, it's the one in front of us, and we've been fully focused on it since we walked off the pitch against Solihull on Tuesday.
In terms of those training sessions, just to give the supporters, because they don't really ever see it, do they? What kind of stuff do the lads do? Is it like just drills with the ball more, or are you doing shape work? What kind of things?
There's a whole gambit of things. I mean, at the end of the day, some players need more than others because of the amount of minutes they've played on the Saturday or the Tuesday. So we've got a sort of we've got a group of lads who've played a hell of a lot of football that don't need too much the day after a game. So they'll be in a group that are, I wouldn't say off their feet completely, but they don't do as much work, and the other lads are topping up. So there's a variation of, there's, as Hugo calls it, kicking footballs, but Richard would call it ball work, or, passing sequences, passing patterns, them sort of things, all technique work really. But we've got to make sure we're doing enough for a bloke who's 6'4" and 15 stone, for a bloke who's 5'6" who plays in the same position, and 8.5 stone dripping wet. We've got to make sure that guy gets the same as this guy in terms of the preparation for the match. So there's a lot of things going into it. There's classroom work in terms of we're in here. We have work on the video, showing sort of tactics and stuff. There's one-to-one chats. There's individual chats with the coaches in the departments, if it's the defenders or it's the goalkeepers, or the whole group have a conversation on a Friday. We go through certain things, past and going forward. But ultimately, everything we tend to finish most meetings with, and what's our aim this weekend? It's to win 1 football match. That's all we ever do.
And that's coming against Sittingbourne this weekend, isn't it? Now, it's again another one where it's a team lower down, but I guess we've done quite well in those games before against teams from lower divisions. So are you confident that your side won't be going into this one with any complacency whatsoever? Well,
certainly no complacency from the staff, and at this moment in time, the players, they've been told in no uncertain terms they're up for a game tomorrow. It's going to be a real partisan crowd against them, heavily numbered in Sittingbourne's favour, which is part of the cup. That is the cup. We had this at Swindon last November, 2 Novembers ago. So it's part of cup competitions, and what make them really good, to be honest with you. Their best chances at their place, which they've got their home draw. It's up to us to go there and be as professional as we can. It's our job on a daily basis to have picked enough out of what we've seen of their performances that we feel we can exploit, and I'm sure they'll have done the same thing. So, form, levels, everything goes out the window. Nobody more than our fans should know that. Like I said, in years gone by, Aldershot Town have been knocked out of various cup competitions against teams from way below them in the pyramid. We've knocked teams out this and last season, teams who are above our station. So like I said, it's a cup competition. It's what makes cup competitions, interesting. I'm disappointed, if anything, that we can't get more fans there. But I understand it. The logistics of the match are such. But I do believe we're doing a stream back at the ground.
Yep.
And what I can say is to any of the shots who don't make it to the game, the group that are going there are going to be going there fully prepared, and we know what's at stake. We understand. There's some clubs still in this competition who've won the competition numerous times, but there are also clubs like ourselves in Sittingbourne. There's going to be a team in the semi-final who's never been there with a chance to get to the Wembley for the first time. So we're all looking forward to it.